you. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Well, my name is Annie Batchelder, Reverend Annie Batchelder, and I am still finishing my breakfast. Pardon me while I take a sip of blessed water. Do you drink a lot of water? I do. I try to drink between 66 and 99 ounces of water a day. I think it helps. I'm a Pisces, so it makes sense. I got to have my own fish tank inside and inside me, my only lake reservoir or something like that. All right. How are you today? Rebecca Donald, good morning. Good morning, sugar. Do you have a good question for me today? So excited to be with everybody. I had a really good meditation earlier this morning about balancing earth energy with our soul's light and with light in general. And Anubis channeled it for us. It was quite good. And we had 3 interesting cards pulled by my sweetheart. I pulled the love card first. Get you guys tuned in here a little bit better. The love card was the first card we got. Then we pulled the sage card. Now the love card was like, this is the energy of Venus that's going to be around us for the next 4 months. So it's really important. Good morning, David Grease. How are you? Please put in the chat any questions or comments that you have. Write in your questions in the comments on Facebook. I love that. That's what the purpose of this is. But anyway, so the first card we pulled this morning on the 7:30 a.m. Pacific time was the love card. And these are the threads of fate, shadow edition cards. And I'm liking them. Anything with gold and shiny is, I'm like a fish on a lure, and it just gets my attention. Can you tell? I got gold shiny on today. Anyhow, the second card was the sage, and that was like the grounding energy of all this love. Since Venus is going to be with us for 4 months, we got to really maintain our access point to the earth, but in a way that doesn't block our upper chakras and our spiritual connections. So we need the sage. It's kind of like sensible spirituality, practical spirituality. The sage has to be able to operate in ordinary reality, and our spirits are often not in ordinary reality and not operable here. So we need to master this. I mean, that's the whole point of incarnating on the earth is mastering the environment here, the limits of gravity, the limits of humanity and physical life, the short-termness, making decisions, choosing wisely. And the sage is helpful with all of that. The third card that my beloved chose was, they told us this energy would be needed for right around noon. I'm in Pacific time, California, so I'm quoting times for that area. But anyway, right around midday is the energy of withdrawal. So it's like, listen, folks, there are times when we need to withdraw and digest. I remember someone I used frequently for spiritual guidance when I was quite young, in my 20s. And she said, you can always step into the bathroom, close the stall door, and reconnect your energy, reconfigure your energy. And so, use that. That's a place you can kind of create your own little microcosm of privacy and reduce yourself and withdraw if you have to. And I was working in offices and full of questions and insecurities and self-doubt, not very experienced selling semiconductors, knew nothing about them. I thought if I hit the wrong button, the whole thing would crack and start smoking, the whole system. So I was really unfamiliar, but I was selling the parts. Good morning, Cynthia. Yay, yay, yay. So around the middle of the day, we might have to do a little withdrawal. And this is not to say isolate, some people sort of, that's their hideout. If we're isolating or hiding out, we're not really participating, we're avoiding, we are making ourselves invisible and trying not to be a target. Now you cannot be a target. Good morning, Barb Hewling. Thank you for being here. Hello. You cannot be a target in a far softer way than full-on isolation. Usually isolation is a fear tactic. I don't want to be caught doing this. I'm not going to interact with anybody because I just can't take humanity in general, okay. You don't have to be that severe with yourself. And that's when accessing the energy of love and being in that frequency. And I'm reminded that the guide said in my book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, of which this group is based on, and these quotes that are all over this Facebook site, they're all taken from the book. They say, any message of worth is sent on a frequency of love, and additional energies may wrap around that basic frequency of love, but the core frequency, the essence, is love. And if it's not a loving message, then you're not really connecting with good spirits. You're probably connecting with lower spirits or something that's more of an interference and not for your highest and best good. So love is always the core frequency of everything that I try to communicate and be and represent. And I'm imperfect at it. And if you are too, well, welcome to my imperfect boat. You get right in and join the club. Anyhow, what stabilizes this energy is the sage. Let me just do something here. Whoopsie. And that's like the grounding. It's the sensible, practical knowledge. It's wisdom applied on the earth plane and useful to everyone. And at noon, there's perhaps the withdrawal energy. Bring all those attention tentacles, all those little points of attention out here, bring them back into the center and regroup. Really, I can feel you doing that. You do a good job. Thank you for moving the energy with me. So I want to invite you, the actual invitation for these Wednesday get-togethers is to have you write in the Facebook comments your question, and I will channel on it. And if you want more privacy, then use that personal guidance on Etsy, on my Etsy store called Soul Sorcerer. Use personal guidance on there for a private directed session, and I will create a voice memo for you channeling on your one question. It's only $18, and this is not a livable wage. I'm sorry, I can't base my work on that, but so it's a special I'm offering until I have to increase the price. in June. So it's a great way to connect with me and have privacy and ask your question. So, and you can ask about anything. Do you have something going on with your body? We could talk to the cells of your body. If you have something going on, like a thought in your head that's really like obsessively circling and you have to break the cycle of obsessive thinking, I can help you with that. I can very much help you with that. If you have a feeling of impending doom, great, let's look at that. Where does that come from? What's that urging you to do? Is there something in your future plans that you are not really settled on, that you are not comfortable with? It feels like it doesn't suit you and your situation the way a plan in the future should. A plan in the future should express you, not be some kind of torture, punishment. I got to get through it. That's not good for you. I know you all have questions. And even if you see this video later on YouTube, please put a question in the comments. More about that. I often work in the Akashic Records, and to me, questions are the can openers to information in the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records are the record of everything a soul has ever said, thought, done, or had a really strong, ambitious intention of doing, perhaps over ambitious. And all of that gets recorded in this highly sensitive soul level plane of consciousness as the record of your soul. And so readings that I do are often in the Akashic Records, and to help you align with your soul's purposes and your soul's intent for having certain problems, health issues, why you chose your family members, to better strengthen who as a soul you are and cause you to come into agreement and harmony with your soul. So I'm looking for somebody to leave a question in the comments. I'm going to switch to Facebook over here and see if I can see him better on this screen. Hang on, folks, while I do some weird things. Work with technology. Okay. All right. Great. Cynthia Clark. Hi. Okay. I'm gonna do, since we're doing a private session this afternoon, Cynthia, I'm gonna do you second. David Greased. Will I find a job that makes me happy again? All right. So David, I'm looking at your heart because you want happy. You want something that is fulfilling and yet stretches your abilities or maximizes some capabilities that have not been showcased correctly or fully in ways that you think really bespeak you as a pro. And you are a pro at what you do, and you are dedicated and dogged in your determination to bring the best of you to whatever you do. And that is so, it's a noble stance. It's a noble place to come from. Now, understanding that it is common in general, for most men to obtain most of their sense of identity from a job. My sweetheart holds himself as a carpenter, even though he worked in the fire department for 28 years. But he was also a carpenter, and he would have rather been building a house somewhere for less money than being at the fire department and fighting fires or waiting for the fire alarms to go off and like that. But his identity is more as a carpenter. Now, David, when you require that a job fulfills the purpose of filling you up as an identity, there, especially for someone as mentally, emotionally, and spiritually accomplished as you are, you're targeting the wrong target. So shift your target more in alignment to, how about this? What paid position expresses my soul in the most functional and aligned way? There you go. Because where the misalignment is drawing your identity from your work, the truth is your identity is as the soul that is embodied in this body with the name David Griest. And even as I'm saying that, I'm feeling you moving more into the energy of your soul, the consciousness of your soul. And that makes you magnetic. And I have no problem with you wanting to be happy. There's no reason you cannot be happy. But I would also venture to say that you will obtain greater happiness being an expression. What's next, soul? How can I express you at this stage in my life? Put me in the position where I can best express my soul's purposes, my soul's gifts, talents, and abilities through this body, through this personality, through this name, David Griest. There, yeah. And bring the energy and consciousness of your soul into your physical body. That's why I'm always saying, embody your soul's light. And that embodiment, that coming together of your soul and your body and your purposes on the physical plane, expressing your soul, that alignment makes you very magnetic. And it changes your vibration, and it allows for greater happiness. And I think what you mean is also fulfillment. Although I truly understand, especially that men hear the word happy. Happy is a good communication word. When your wife is happy, you're happy. Like, my wife's happy, good, I can relax. And I want you to be happy as well. So, is there something that you want to bring out as a product or service? Or is there a different way that you want to present yourself, perhaps in untapped or underappreciated skills, and bringing those to the forefront, and what you are interested in bringing to your work situations on a resume or whatever? What skills are you looking to exercise and to tune and to express that are next for you? And coming from that place. And don't worry, I hear the coins, the cha-ching, cha-ching, that sound is in the background, because when you are aligned with your soul's purposes and what's next for you, then the money naturally flows, resources naturally flow, opportunities naturally flow to you. That creates a wider opening than, will I find a job that makes me happy again? I'm enlarging the questioning. I'm enlarging the question. I'm making it grander than you have made it in, and I want you to stretch out into that, and not too far. That was really funny what you did with your energy when I said stretch out. Not too far, but it's really expand to include again. How can I expand to include all that my soul is asking me to bring forth in this lifetime that serves others and fulfills my requirements for earnings? There you go. That feels good. Okay. Let that energy settle in. Yeah. 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 All right. You're kind of girded for battle there. So just relax. You're not going out to do battle with the world. You're asking the world to come to you on your terms. And that is absolutely perfect for you. That is absolutely perfect for you. Beautiful. Okay. Does that feel like it did it for you, David? Love the hair. It seems different, but good. The wrinkled look. Thank you very much. You're always so complimentary, David. Thank you so much. Okay, now Cynthia has posed the question, what advice do I have from the Akashic beings to move forward and be at peace in closing the chapter of what I have been moving through and walking through a new portal of consciousness? Okay, so this is the way it feels. The question is like, how do I slam the door on this past? I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want to be affected by it. I don't want it to be controlling piece of my life. I don't want it to be the canvas on which I have to paint. I want to be done with it. So totally get that. And what your soul is doing is it is utilizing all these experiences that you have had that make you uniquely capable and able to be a source of compassion, understanding, and healing to others in similar situations. And it doesn't have to be, like a cookie cutter similar situation. It just has to have the energy of similarity, of familiarity to it. And it doesn't have to be exact, but people relate to a level of suffering that you've had, which does not mean you need to continue to suffer. Quite the contrary. You being in a state of non-suffering is fabulous. I think it's great. Hang on. Okay, never mind. And you not suffering is absolutely in alignment with your soul's purposes in this life. So setting aside the suffering about it is kind of like telling your brain, okay, I'm done getting off on the brain chemicals that are released when I review the suffering and when I revisit it and when I go back there over and over again to go get another hit of suffering. You don't have to use that as what you build on, not in the least. What you do get to do is layer the new stuff on it, layer the new levels of healing, and what concepts are being remodeled or reshaped or represented in a new vein from a new place in your heart. How do you have to expand to include that this suffering is a part of the drama that you are enacting in this life, and you have chosen to use this suffering as a platform of healing, to reach in to that next group of ideas and concepts and bringing them towards yourself, almost like clawing new territory and bringing yourself up to it and bringing yourself in. Absolutely. I totally appreciate that you are just sick of doing the suffering. Great. Sick of doing it. That's great. I totally get it. And it makes sense to me. Absolutely. It really, really makes sense to me that you're done suffering. And so you might put some notes up to remind yourself, expand to include, if that whole picture of the suffering, that old person that you feel that the suffering represents is no longer representative of who you are now, go ahead and be daring and be joyful, because there is nothing more magnetic than being joyful. Hello, David Griest. Nothing more magnetic than being joyful and happy in the moment. And being able to live a fulfilled, happy, lovely, graceful, blessed life in the moment. Good morning, Sierra Homeway. How nice you're here. Yay, yay, yay. I hope baby's doing well. So let me look at your question again, because it's a good question. It's dense. You wrote a very good question. I'm glad it's making sense to you. David and Cynthia are very much, I love being useful. I love it. Cynthia says, I have shed many layers like a snake. It's time to shed another layer and step into fullest authenticity. Yes. And guess what? There will be another layer to shed. This is the never-ending story, right? But remember, it's the story. It's not necessarily you. You're bigger than that. David, you're bigger than that. Both of you are physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually more well-developed than the limitations that your personality is conjuring up or reaching into the past to get inspiration from, that doesn't match up to where you are now. Where you have to reach into is more deeply into this present moment, into the groundedness of this earth smart sage that knows earth energy, but also brings in higher knowledge and spiritual wisdom and mixes it adroitly with skill into ordinary reality. The beauty of life, Cynthia Clark says, are peeling back the layers. As we release the lies and illusions, we come back to who it is we are and always have been. My scalp and spine are tingling with that wisdom. That's exactly it. The beauty of life, get this, folks, the beauty of life are peeling back the layers. As we release the lies and illusions, we come back to who it is we are and always have been. That's right. We're really just releasing the outer shells that we've tried on or we've had to wear in previous lives or in past portions of our lives that are no longer necessary. We don't need them as defenses or armor or protections. What we need is to be who we are now in this moment. And it's not reaching back into the past, the pot of the past, trying to get wisdom. It's reaching deeper into this present moment to who am I? I went to sleep with these questions. I was hearing a portion of an audio book by Sanaya Roman, who's one of my long time teachers. She and her partner wrote the book Opening a Channel, and that's what got me started on this. career, but the questions were, ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And coming into an awareness of that all exists in who we are at this moment. That's juicy and fulfilling. And the questions are helpful, breathtaking, they're useful. Absolutely all the stuff I want to be involved with is those kinds of questions. And questions are the can openers. They are the can openers, and not to be afraid of the questions. The questions often contain the answers. Did you notice that? And the answers in both Cynthia's and David's questions have come out of their questions. The questions have begotten their own answers. And provided this group with useful information as a group. Thank you very much. Helps me all the way, I tell you. It's wonderful. Let's see. Is anybody else asking questions? It's, what would you like to know? We've got a little more time here. One of the things that my guides, the Akashic beings of light, are asking in bringing forth soul consciousness is to embody the soul and begin to live life as the soul, live out the qualities that represent my soul, to bring forth my soul, its energy and purposes, and to share that very specific frequency that is unique to only you. You're the only one that has this certain frequency. That's how the divine made you. How do I bring that forth intact and with honesty and reveal myself as that? So Sierra says, this feels very relevant to what I've been feeling lately. Yeah, no fooling. I mean, this has been some choppy waters. Sierra also says, I'm trying to be more present this month. Oh, yeah. Oh, me too. Like my mind is so often trying to make sense of the past or redo the past. Really more, it's reviewing the past, trying to have it turn out in a different way, because I think either I embarrassed myself or I didn't do the right thing, or I was in error, and I don't like to be in error. I don't like to make mistakes, especially publicly. All of that kind of stuff. And how do I just bring that to the forth? When I was writing the book, there was one time where the guide just said, living as your soul is the priority now. Interact with your soul qualities, integrate your soul qualities, and receive energy emanations from your future self. Well, we'll do that some other time, but that's a really juicy process. And, you can tell just from the words, you can receive energy emanations from your future self. Well, yeah, sure. Close your eyes and be who you are right now. And then, in essence, project out in front of you your future self facing back towards yourself. And you are going to the future self, perhaps 10 days or 2 months from now, the future self that has solved the current problem or has resolved the current issue, or perhaps this is the future self of 2 years from now, 2 lifetimes from now. Any time zone you can go to. You're just hopping time zones. You're just projecting your consciousness out into this future, and feel the energy emanations that your future self is sending back to you in the present moment. And since everything begins as energy, receiving this energy emanation from your future self is like receiving the solution. Like your future self obviously has made it through the current dilemmas of the day and is fine. Everything worked out. You are not dead. Your soul has not been destroyed. You are present and capable and totally here in this moment. And you're receiving the love, guidance, the support from your future self that you might need now. Mm-hmm. Good. Now, do you want to go further out in the future? Whatever is the right number for you. Maybe it's only 3 months from now. Maybe it's next year in springtime. What's that? What's the energy of your future self contributing to you now? If all time, this time is all time, and there is no time in any other realm but this earthly realm, then this is completely possible because your soul lives in the land of the soul, in the frequencies of the soul, in a soul level consciousness, a plane of consciousness. It's not exactly, hard edged. You're either here or you're there. It's soft, it's permeable. Your soul lives in a space where there is no time, and there is the ability to experience all time. And so, how has your soul solved the current problem? And what is your soul adding to you right now? I'm feeling a lot of pressure in the third eye, a little bit towards the left side of my head. It's as if my soul is trying to pry open my ability to picture different results. Yeah, expand to include, relax. There's nothing but good that your soul is sending you. Love, support, compassion, skills. It's amplifying certain things in you, strengthening the physical body, opening the heart. You are not less than for having a problem in life. This is what they've been telling me for months, and in the chapters of the book. Your soul calls to you to come closer whenever there is a problem. So that's why you embody your soul's light, because in that soul's light is the consciousness of your soul that is not limited by time, gravity, personality, physicality. And your soul wants to be loving with you and have a harmonious interaction and relationship with you. You are the soul's creation. The soul chose this particular body out of 8 million choices, this particular personality out of 8 million choices. Your soul chose you, not anybody else. You. And so that's what your soul is projecting to you. It's literally the divine blueprint that is your soul. Oh, yeah. Can you feel that moving into the backside of your body, like moving into your spine and your bodily framework? Maybe sitting up a little straighter. That's the blueprint of your soul. Becoming stronger, more clear to you. Maybe you have a visual image, maybe you have just a sense of knowing. Maybe you just have this physical sensation of, oh, that's my soul's divine blueprint. I'm wearing this. I'm being this. I have access to it for strength, for wisdom, for compassion. We're sort of getting that objective viewpoint about why this particular problem has presented itself at this time in my life. Yeah. Very good. And so ask your physical body and your memory to make a memory file of this experience of being able to receive energy from your future self and to really experience your soul's blueprint by holding your left palm up and placing your right pointer finger on the center of your palm. It grounds you in the physicality of this memory. And so if you want to come back here easily and effortlessly, you can do so. You get to work with your spiritual imagination. And you're here doing all the right work. You're doing all the right efforts. You're making all the right changes. You're thinking all the right things. You're making the right moves. And you know when to move and when not to move. You know when to take action and when not to take action. All right, folks. That feels like what we've been here called to do today. I want to thank the Akashic beings of light. And Anubis has been present a lot today, and I really very much appreciate that too. I'm thankful. And I thank all of you, especially all of you who are here today on Facebook and all of you who will see this in the future. Very good. Thank you very much for being with me. I love you.